Howdy, y'all. Yeah, welcome into Court Cowboy. Glad you're here. We'll do a little recap, a little analysis, then we'll do a little pick there. And I was thinking it's usually easier to pick the way it's borne out in the past. It's easier to pick at the lesser tournaments, say the 250s and the 500s versus the Masters and the Grand Slams. Typically that's the way it bears out. Although this year you had Ferry, obviously, with his fairy tale run, the fairy tale. And that was good. Got a good pick in with him versus Caboli, so that helped my numbers out. But yeah, let's look back and then we'll look forward to the final and make the pick. But looking back on that Zverev Ferry, obviously that first tiebreaker, that 7-0, where Zverev really zoned in, seemed to kind of lock up the match right there. His serving was incredible. And amazingly, I look back at the stats, he won 89% of his second serves versus Ferry at 48%. So you can really tell the whole match right there. He faced one break point, did Zverev, and that was it for the match. So it was a clean match, expected win for him. I forget where he was in the odds, but heads into the final. Hopefully he's going to ride high. He'll tell himself he's riding high, obviously, from the French Open and getting rid of that best player never to win a major moniker. And he's a new man because he's going against a guy that's beaten him 9 straight times. It's going to be tough mentally, but maybe he can find something new in the fact that he's a Grand Slam champion now. And then looking back at Sinner and Djokovic, it kind of played out, I think, the way a lot of people think it played out. It was great first strike tennis. It was suffocating from Sinner. He was great on serve. I think he won 88% of his first serves. And again, the second serve really tells the story. He won 61% second serve points, and Djokovic was down, I believe, at 41. So huge disparity there. And I look back, I was thinking back, who was the best against, who the best second serve points won throughout history. And it was different. I thought Isner was number 1 with that serve, but he's actually number 3. In fact, Nadal was 1 at 57.5, I think, and Federer was number 2 at 56.9. And then there was Isner, and then Djokovic, I believe, is number 4 at 55 and change, 55.8 or something, in that range. But Sinner winning 61% of his first or second serve points was key also. But he took time away from Djokovic, smothered him. Djokovic never seemed to get into his groove there, into his game. It was really a stellar performance by Sinner. He seems to be rounding into perfect form at the perfect time. He's kind of worked his way into shape in this tournament. Started out a bit, I wouldn't say shaky, but slow in the first 2 rounds there, but he's firing on all pistons and cylinders now. So here we go into the final. We know what's coming. Let's bring out McCoy just for this. Let's let him strut his stuff, and we're gonna diverge a bit again on Tarzan and Wonderlic here. Obviously with Tarzan, the pick is, who's not gonna pick Sinner to win this match? He was minus 800 to win the tournament, so he's the guy, odds-on guy, of course, and there's no reason to think he wouldn't win. 10 straight. Who was it? Who was the guy that said that no one beats? Who was it that said that? Was it? What is Vitas Gerulaitis? No one beats Vitas Gerulaitis 24 straight times, or I forget what the number was. And then another guy who used that. I forget the name of the guy who made it to the French Open final. Federer beating the French Open. Used the same line. It was perfect. But maybe Zverev saying the same thing. No one beats Alexander Zverev 10 times in a row. So it's time to put the foot down. But Zverev is a plus 350 for the match, and Sinner's a minus 500. So you can see on Wonderlic, I'm minus 90 with the odds. So in this case, I would bet, of course, Tarzan's going to bet Sinner all day. And the Wonderlic play is going to be to go with Zverev against all odds. It's an arbitrage play to some degree, but he deserves to be every bit of a minus 350. We'll take Zverev just on the off chance that we can cash in, and that'll move us way up. Otherwise, we'll just go down another 100 and be ready for next week. I don't even know what is next week. We must be getting into some hard courts next week. At least a couple of the tournaments will be, but we'll really come out firing next week, and we'll probably be doing each round, so stay tuned. Let's see how it plays out here. At Wimbledon, hopefully we can, Zverev's gonna have to win for us to be up in the Wonderlic category, but we'll see how it plays out. It's gonna be a great match. I think Zverev's gonna have to hug that baseline. He's gonna have to get out of his comfort zone a bit. Obviously gonna have to serve big. but he's going to have to really get out of his comfort zone and do some things that are different. And I'm sure Sinner's going to stay with the tried and true blueprint. Load the Zverev forehand, make him bend over, hit that forehand at 6'6", and use a lot of variety. That's very effective against Zverev. Federer used to do that very well. I remember that Halle final where he really imposed himself with a lot of variety on Zverev. So it's going to be a great match. Can't wait to see it, and we'll see you back here next week. And we'll have a whole new slew of picks. So enjoy the games, and we'll see you from the saddle next week. Adios.